Welcome to part 3. If you don't know what we're doing here, we're just trying to create this house in Revit, and the purpose of this series is to add structural framing to it, to show you how it might be built realistically. If you're looking for parts 1 and 2, there's links to them in the description below. So in part 3, we are aiming to add an upper floor. We're also adding windows and doors with lintels for structural support, and we might finish with a pitched wall on the roof level.
drawtechnic.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay, so I want to add some windows to this, just like this here in this picture. So I'm going to start with these ones here. They're not gonna look exactly like that, but we can find something quite similar. So if we go into the ground floor and into the architecture tab and click window. Simple, huh? Go into load family, and now you'll want to go into the windows folder and just look for the window that looks very similar to these. Okay, so I'm just gonna scroll down here. It looks similar to this, but it's only one bay. Something like this. I think this is probably the closest we're gonna get. Where was it? That's probably the closest we're gonna get, so I'll just pull that out. Yeah, that looks okay. So when you add your windows, you want to make sure that this is flipped, because this is the windowsill on the inside, and that's the windowsill on the outside. We can check this in 3D to see how it looks. So if you look here, this looks like it should be on the outside, and on the inside, we have the windowsill. Okay, now we want to do exactly the same for the other side. So I can click this window, right click, and create similar. Now Revit, let me just show you that again. Revit can help you centralize the window position. If you see the dimensions there, it's 2, 2, 3 on either side. So I can click it and add it there. And I'm going to flip that. Let's see how it looks in 3D. I'm removing the section box. And now I want to add the windows in this part. So how do they look? Okay, I think we can find something quite similar to this, but if not, we can find maybe better looking windows. Okay, back into the ground floor, windows again, and load family. And just search for whatever window you want. Probably something like that. Maybe we can find something a bit closer. Something like this. Or that. Or this even. I'm probably gonna go with this one. Let's just go with this one. And I need a bigger window than that. Let's see what options we have here. So this is the biggest window, 1810 by 1210. And that's exactly what we want. Make sure this is centralized. And add one here in a central position. Now this one is in the right orientation. I want to make this one in the right orientation. And let's see how it looks in 3D. Not bad. If your section box is hidden, you can bring it back like this. Let's drag that down a bit. Now that looks like there's something going on here. It looks much better. Okay, we have our windows in place. And for now, I'm just going to concentrate on these windows and doors, and I'll add the rest at the end of the video. Now I need to add lintels to these doors and windows so that all the weight is transferred into the ground instead of through the doors and windows, because they're not designed to structurally support the weight of bricks above them. So go into the ground floor and go into structure and beam, and then go into load family, and now we want to go into structural framing. Now the lintel is like a beam, that's why we're in the beam mode. I'm gonna go into precast concrete. You can go into metal if you want to, or steel or whatever. And I'm just gonna look through these and just pick out any one that I like. Or in fact, anything that looks similar to this. And we won't find anything that's exactly similar to this. So just to make the video a little bit quicker, I'm gonna just find something that looks similar. I like that. Okay, doesn't look like we have anything that's too similar. So I'm just gonna pick this. There it is. Alright. Now, okay, I'm going into structure, beam, and I'm selecting this one, the thick one, and I want to make it from this line to this line. So I'm selecting it from here up to this line. And you go into the south elevation and check how it looks. I'm going to raise that by 2510. And in the picture here, it's hidden behind this, which we're going to add in a later video. And I want to see how that looks in 3D. And that looks quite good actually. But I don't want this poking out on the inside because the plaster is supposed to cover it. So going into the ground floor, I want to align this with the block wall by using the align tool. when you hover over this, sometimes you can't select it, so you use the tab key on your keyboard and you're able to select it. So you can select it and then select this part. Now it's aligned to the block wall and it pokes out this way just like I want it to. Back in 3D to see how it looks. That looks good. That's exactly what I want. Now I want to add a lintel above these windows here. Okay, so back into the ground floor. And I'm just setting a line here to make it 160 away from there, and the same for the other side, because that's how big I want the lintel to be. Copying this over by 160. Okay, and I'm just gonna drag these down so that it's easy to snap to. And I want to do the exact same thing on this side, so I'm going to mirror these over. So I've selected all these lines and I'm using the mirror tool, and from this wall I'm going to select the midpoint of the wall and draw down. Now this might not do what I want it to. And it looks like it has. That's good. Now go into the structure tab, go into beam again, and just do exactly the same thing. And one on this side as well. Go into the south elevation and make them higher. It's hidden right here. And one here. That looks good. Now I want to align these to this as well. Well, not this actually, to the block wall on the inside. Back into the ground floor. I'm going to select this and use the align tool. And that one's set right. Now for this one. Hit the tab key to select this line. And there it is. So our lintels are in place. And that's how it looks. I want to change the color of these lintels. So I'm going to right click it, override graphics in view by element, or rather by category. So it changes all of them hopefully. And we want the surface pattern to be solid fill. And the color, we're gonna have to make it something like this. Let's try that. There we go. It might be a bit too dark. Okay, that's better. Okay, we've created our lintels. Now the next step is to create the upper floor. Now how I'm going to do this is exactly the same as I did with the ground joists here. I'm just going to do the exact same thing for the upper floor. So for that reason, I'm going to speed this up, and if you want to know how to do it, just go watch part 2. But I'm going to speed this part up. Now before I speed the part up, I actually have to set some walls here. Now on the ground floor, I need to decide where the stairs are going to go. And I'm going to say the stairs are in this room, and they're going to be in this corner. It's going to come like this and go around like this or something. We can still set the floor and the joists for the floor, and we can edit it later to accommodate the stairs in a later video. So in level 1, like I said, I'm going to speed the part up. So in level 1, I'm copying these internal walls up to the upper floor so that I can create the joists accordingly, which are going to be exactly the same. Now, I'm not copying the joists up because the joists are going to be a little bit different. Instead of sitting in a cassette, they're going to sit on the block wall. So it's going to be a little bit quicker to draw these on level 1. Alright, let's do it. Now you probably noticed that I'm drawing it a little differently. I'm drawing it to sit on these walls. And I'm drawing it halfway on the wall so that when we draw the next rooms, they can sit nicely together. Okay, the beam system is created now, and now I'm going to add a floor to this, but the floor is going to be a bit different. Because it's an upper floor, it's going to be lighter than the ground floor. I want the floor to be exactly like this, sitting at the edge of the room. And I'm going to speed this part up just to add all the floors in. Okay, now we've added all the floors in. Let's look at it in 3D just to see what we got here. For some reason this floor is higher than every other floor. Let's look at these floors. At level 1. And for some reason this is at height 2600, but we'll just move it to 0. Okay. Now, this is what we're going to do different here. It's a ceiling. What's a ceiling doing here? Alright, this one's a mistake, obviously. Let's change that to ceiling quickly. Change that to floor quickly. Okay, so I want to see all of the floors here so that we can change them all at once. So selecting them all. And I'm gonna select it here and change it to floor upper. And in the section view, we can just do exactly the same as we did last time. So move this up by however high it's supposed to be. So because they're all changed to this upper floor, now when we select all of them, it shouldn't select these ones at the ground floor. So I'm going to select them in the entire project, and height offset by 211. There it is. Let's see that in 3D. There it is, the upper floor. And I just want to show you something here. See how this joist here is sitting on the block wall here. So the weight of these floors is transferred to the beams, which transfer it through the block leaf into the foundations and into the ground. Okay, now let's take off the section box, and we have one more thing to do here, which is to add pitched roofs. So we'll just do that quickly. I'm going to copy these up to the upper floor, align to selected levels, and it's to the roof. Right, let's see what's the problem here. Alright, we can fix this. Go into the front and just drag this up. The same for this one. We want it to match exactly, otherwise that triangle is not going to come out properly. The pitch is not going to come out properly if we don't align these now. Okay, so going back into the picture, that looks like it's between 45 and 40. Alright, let's just draw it and see. We'll judge it however we can. So click on Edit Profile and click the line tool, and then try to get this at about 45. How does 40 look? I'm going to set it at 40. Do the same for this side. You can either draw it again, or you can click this one and mirror it from here. There it is. Now we can trim these together and get rid of these lines. And hit OK. And now we're going to do the same for that side. Doing it at 40 degrees like last time. This way is going to be 140. Trim them together and delete these lines. And hit OK. Look at that, we're almost complete with an elevation. Back in 3D. We're in 3D already. Alright. So that's it for this video. And in the next video, we're going to add the rest of the windows and doors and whatnot. For the next video, we're going to add the rest of the windows and doors and whatever. And we're going to add a structural timber roof using trusses.
You've been watching DrawTechnic.com. Remember to like and subscribe.